the greatest goddamn show on air. And I am Cole Clayton. With me, I have my sister, Ruby Red. What is going on?
Nothing much. You want to see my cool vape real quick? It's a weed vape. So the blue one is a sativa. The purple one's an indica. And you hit the button to switch the colors, right? So that's pretty cool. But if you hit it twice, you smoke both of them hoes.
What do you need both for?
Because you can. Anyway, what you been up to?
Working. Trying to survive Joe Biden's America.
Speaking of which.
Looks like we're not getting out of it either, by the way. Looks like we're going to have another 4 years of that shit.
I don't think we are. I really think RFK is going to get it.
I don't think so, man.
I really think
they're gonna. I think after what just happened to Trump, they're gonna pivot over to him.
You think they're going to vote for him even though he's a felon?
No, I'm saying they just politically made Trump like this criminal or whatever, and now I think the Democrats are gonna pivot to doing that same strategy to RFK. Now that they went after Trump,
Isn't he a criminal though?
Sure, they all are.
Yeah.
But that doesn't.
And what were the charges for? Because I wasn't really listening.
So that's the crazy part is the shit that the legitimate charges that they could have, I could have honestly, he hasn't been charged with anything that I think is like a fucking legitimate crime. Okay, so he originally was charged in Florida. He's got some more pending cases. I don't know of what, but the original cases in Florida was he held on to classified documents from the White House. Which I'm just like, he's like a former president.
Like, weren't some of those documents his?
I don't know. I just know that he kept them, and I'm just like,
that's what it sounds like. Like, can't he keep
documents?
Documents
Who the fuck cares? Only people who are mad about that are people who work in the government. You know what I mean? Why do I care? That doesn't make you a criminal, in my opinion. What are you so afraid of that Trump has?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
see, that makes more sense. I'm trying to figure out why the fuck they were trying to stick him with that, but those documents must have said.
And he was exonerated from that in Florida.
Okay.
Because he lives in Florida, and it's Florida. You know what I mean? So of course, they took his side because it's Florida, and Florida, that's their boy. But let's pivot over to New York, where he was just found convicted. A Democrat state, right? Hey, how's it going, Sadat? He was charged and convicted of 34 felonies, 34 counts, of hush money. So do you remember when I'm from Cleveland, Ruby is from New Orleans. We'll just say
now,
New Orleans.
Hold on. Is that why would you say that? Is that where you're from, or is that just where you reside?
Where I'm from?
Well, yeah, like when someone says where are you from, like does it mean like where you originated or like just where I am now?
Well, where I'm based, I'm from Cleveland, so
okay. But anyway, yeah, he's a felon, right? So he can't run for president.
No, you can. There's nothing that says that you can't run for president with felonies.
What?
There's nothing that says you can't run while you're in prison either. So
they can vote?
There's nothing that says you can't run the country as president from prison either. So Trump's fine. Honestly, the way Trump's going to do it the way Trump does it.
So a felon can't vote for a president, but they can.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You can't vote. Which honestly, if you're a felon, I don't think that I don't think that's right to take your right to vote away just because.
I don't think so either. Or say you can't own a gun just because I committed a felony. Like not all felonies are violent.
Right, but you can be taxed. You can be taxed. That's taxation without representation. You're not allowed to vote, but you can be taxed.
That's bullshit.
Just because you have a felony. And our fucking judicial system has proven time and time again that it isn't you know, just by any means, and like get shit wrong all the time. So to take your right to vote away, hey Thomas, how you doing? But yeah, so anyway, hush money. Okay, so do you remember you were a little bit young, you're still in high school, but in 20 I want to say 18, there was this porn star that came out, Stormy Daniels, who said that she had sex with Donald Trump. Well, it turns out he gave her money to tell her to basically just shut the fuck up. All
That's
right,
illegal.
that's what I said.
I didn't know that.
That's what
Oh
he
my
was found
god.
guilty of. 34
What?
different counts. He paid her 34 different times to get her to shut the fuck up. 34 different payments, I guess.
Did she
Yeah.
get to keep the money?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
No, we're not doing all that. I don't know what you're trying to get me to do, but no. But yeah, no. So like, that's 2 cases in a row where I'm like,
Well, wait. Because
why are these crimes?
the thing is, you could really spin this around on the chick and say that she was committing blackmail because either give me money or I'm gonna go tell the world.
I don't think, but I mean, I think they looked into that. I don't think Stormy Daniels was asking for money, which is how they get how she gets around on that. She just took money to shut up.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's not illegal, and I mean, not that I like care about Trump or anything having to do with him anyway, but like that's come on.
Yeah,
now.
I'm not a Trump supporter by no means. I don't want to vote for him. I kind of only want to vote for him more now just because like they're trying to fucking
You're telling me I can't slide my friend a 20 for not mentioning that awkward story about me? Like I can't. That's illegal. I can't do that. Like that's.
I guess not.
I say it's a fair trade. Like, hey, I kind of would appreciate if you kept our private business private, and you know what? I'll give you some money just to be a good fucking person.
Just some, yeah, to like, you know,
because like
ease your mind.
I hate to be ugly about it, but you wanting to go put your private business all out on the internet is kind of fucked up anyway. You know, so it's like I'm gonna pay you just to have some fucking morals for a second and not tell people about our business.
Yeah, like so you get where I'm at, right? Where I'm just like they're just punishing him for being the opposer.
Oh yeah, they just wanted to get him for something. Honestly, at that point, it was just something.
Impeached him twice. Nothing stuck. Now the charges that finally do stick. Okay, you like from what I understand, he did do it, but I didn't even know that was I didn't even know it was a crime until he was convicted because I just was not paying attention to what was going on in the news. And when he was convicted, I was like, oh, of what? And I started looking into it. I'm like, no, Thomas, I'm not gonna do it.
I don't know why you're cracking me up so hard right now. But anyway, that's some fucked up shit, man. That's some fucked up. Like y'all just had to stick him with anything you could find, couldn't you? I mean, you're gonna go after somebody, like go after a record. Like I'm still trying to hear about Diddy. What's up with that? Like, is he got a trial or something?
Dan Schneider of Nickelodeon, and you know, like the Epstein stuff, any of that stuff. Like over here, just telling Donald Trump that you know he's not allowed to pay his old hoes. You know what I mean? Like,
just to not spill the beans. I mean, like, can you just shut the fuck up? Like, I'm a lot. Like, and it's not that hard to like, you know, like. I don't care if he was cheating on his spouse or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But it's not that hard.
Nothing to do with me.
Right, like for a regular person to be like, hey man, like please don't, you know, don't fuck up my image. Like I got a lot of shit going for me. Like, can I just give you some money and like have you not fuck my shit up? Like I feel like that's not that big a deal. And like a regular person could be caught up in a situation like that.
Yeah, any of us could be caught up in that. That's why I'm like, that's a crime. Like a normal person could not, a non-public official can be caught up in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, especially dudes, because a lot of dudes just can't keep the fucking dick dry. You know what I mean? Like, so.
And honestly, you know what? what's really interesting is the fact that Donald Trump didn't want that information to get out because I want him to know, like, his fan base is solid. You could do like almost anything, and they're gonna back you up.
True,
Like
like
they could have come out and said like, "Oh yeah, I was sleeping with a porn star," and then it'd been like, "Well, that's his right as an American." Like, you know what I'm saying? No one would have cared. You didn't have to pay that woman. You didn't have
yeah,
to.
that was a weird thing that he did that because that seems very on brand for him. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Like, no one would have been upset because I've seen like the reactions to like people like Trump supporters after they found out he was like guilty, and they don't give a fuck. They're not phased. They're like, I don't care. They rigged him. Da, 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 da. Like it doesn't. One woman said something about, well, he should get more supporters now because he's just like them now. He's a felon. I was like, oh shit.
No, because
Like,
felons can't vote for Donald Trump. So
yeah, she didn't really. I never said they were smart. I said they were solid. Okay, like they're
we
fucking
may see
down.
if Trump wins, we may see felon reform. We may see laws change over felonies, which I think would be a good thing because like the fact that because you committed a crime at some point in your life a long time ago probably means that you forever are just stuck with whatever government already fucked you over once. You know what I mean? Like,
First of all, let me just say, random tidbit, but I'm gonna be really pissed off if we get America's first felon as a president before we get America's first woman. I'm gonna be real upset about that one. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
no, I don't think it is. I don't think it. Give us a fucking
And you're
female.
not allowed to think what you want.
Offer up a good female to become president, and I'll vote for it. You know who I vote for? I can tell you right off rip. You know how a female Tulsi Gabbard, the representative from Hawaii. I would vote for her as president. She's a little young, but I don't know, I think she's in her like mid 40s, early 50s, but which I guess isn't that young. But yeah, I'd vote for her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just like, could just imagine.
But otherwise, we haven't been given a fucking a worthy female candidate, so I don't want to hear that shit. Maybe if some good females would run.
I mean, only like one who ran.
Not only that, but like what about being a president? About being like a leader of an entire country sounds attractive to a Western woman.
Bro, that does not sound attractive to me at all. You can't even get me to be a man.
That's what I'm saying. Why are y'all always bitching? Y'all don't want that job anyway.
I'm sure there's a woman out there who does. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who would.
Yeah, there's a lot of women who do, and those aren't the type of women you want to vote for.
These aren't the type of men I want to vote for either, but here I am.
Yeah, but those are the type of dudes who will run. You see?
But could you just imagine? For a second, if Trump gets reelected, and we have a convicted felon for a president, and I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying. I know it sounds fucked up. Like I'm just saying,
if they all had a fair trial, they'd all be convicted felons. Though, to be fair.
Like, is that really what we're gonna? No, we're not. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna have a felon as fucking president. Please, of all the things, we're gonna get laughed at so hard if, like, I just can't. I hate to be the one to say it, but I just really hope y'all
get laughed at. You know why?
And don't choose him because we're gonna be made a laughing stock if we have a criminal
I don't think so.
as a president.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
We'll have the first thug president with the baddest military the world has ever seen. Are you gonna fuck with us for real? We got a legit thug running the best military ever. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I hope if Trump wins, okay, I'm not gonna vote for him, but if he wins, I hope he shows up on Inauguration Day with a do-rag.
You know what he
and maybe a Swisher Sweet. Or Newports or something.
He reminds me a lot of that guy from the Hunger Games. Like the main protagonist, like President Snow. That's what he reminds me of, like on the low.
Biden, what the fuck? Are you kidding me?
You think that's Biden for real?
Yeah, dude.
Biden doesn't seem as like angry all the time. And whenever Trump's talking, he always sounds like pissed off about some shit. I'm like, dude, who pissed in your chariot?
You don't want your TikTok algorithm needs to be adjusted.
You would just have like rants all the time, whereas like Biden, he can barely get a word out, but at least he's smiling about it, you know? Like,
I think it's just that I see Biden is more of a tyrant than I see Trump as a tyrant. I feel like Trump is just too dumb to organize anything that like that. You know what I mean? I don't think he's smart enough. I don't think he can't keep his mouth shut long enough to play politics, for one. You know what I mean? But Biden's been in politics since before segregation.
yeah, you're right. And he used to be like for segregation.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like fuck that guy.
Tell me why, like a week after I had voted for Biden, I don't want to hear shit from anybody because I was 18 years old and I really went for the sticker, but they didn't have them. Voted for Biden, right? And like a week later, I see something on TikTok. It's like a video of him talking about something about like the the poor kids are just as good as the white kids or some shit like that. Or
Yeah,
he said
you
something
said that shit, bro.
or he said something about wanting to keep segregation in schools. Not right. Like a week after I voted for him, and I was like, the fuck?
Why did you
Like,
tell me that first?
I'm like, why didn't the algorithm like do something before that? I don't know. Like, I did a little bit of research on him, but I guess not the right research. I don't know. But
I think
anyway,
you know what's funny is I should get you a T-shirt that says I voted for the sticker, but all I got was shitty jury duty.
they did try to get me to jury duty after that. Was the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. Yeah, like 2 weeks
How
after
did that
that,
go? By the way, like what happened?
I didn't have
Did
to
you show
go.
up?
No, I didn't have to go. I had got a jury summons, and I was like weirded out because I'm not really used to being like known
What
by
to
the
do?
government or even just having like the people know where I am or where I live. So the fact that it was like this town knows I'm here, it felt kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it, but like we're kind of drifters, we're kind of gypsies. So like when the town like knew I was here, it was very weird. And they're like, you have to come here. And I'm like, the fuck I do? I thought I lived in fucking America. First of all, if I had gone, I was gonna sabotage it if I had gone, but I ended up calling them, and it was like an automated message saying you're relieved of your jury duty, so I didn't even have to do it. But fuck you if I'm
I
gonna vote
wouldn't trust
again.
it. I'd be like, I'm still gonna go.
No, because the first time you call, it says call the day before and see what the message says. It will either tell you to come in or tell you not to come in, and then you call again, and it'll tell you either go in tomorrow or don't go in. So whatever it was, I guess I didn't have. Good. I don't want to have to make decisions anyway. Clearly, I don't make the right ones. Look at the president.
I want everybody to know that if I ever get summoned for jury, I want this on record too, so that you know better. But there is never a situation in my mind, because the whole point of uh like pronouncing somebody guilty or whatever the fucking term is without a shadow of doubt, and there is no situation in my mind where I have no shadow of doubt. So I will always say innocent, because there's never going to be a situation where I believe somebody's guilty without a shadow of doubt. Now I don't understand how other people don't fucking work that way.
And you could be like 99% sure is the thing. Like, but just that 1%, just the fact that you weren't there, I didn't see him do it. I can't say if he's guilty or
You
not.
could
Like,
have
it
him on
wasn't there.
camera. I could be like, oh well, the camera could be blurry, or that could be AI now,
It can
or you know what I
literally
mean?
be
Hell,
AI
people have
these days.
twins. You know, people have doppelgangers. Sometimes people just look the same. You know what I mean? Like,
There's always room for doubt.
yeah,
There's
that's what I'm
always
saying. There's
room.
always room for doubt. So the fact that so many people go to prison is just wild to me.
Did you know they have like sometimes they'll make prisoners like pick cotton, and like they legally have to pay that? Did you know that? I just found that out. They have them like it's technically working.
Is this in Mississippi?
It's all over like Texas, all over fucking Mississippi. It's everywhere fucking down here.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out about it because I was talking to this chick, a coworker of mine, who had been to prison, and she said that they legally have to pay you, so they have to pay you like either 25 cents or like 11 cents or some shit like that to be out in the fields picking cotton. And they said, and you got to be careful if you see a snake or something, don't start running because they'll fucking shoot you. And I was like, what did you just say? And she was like, yeah, they're hard. That's if you go to prison. Like if you're obviously you have to agree to do it. They're not going to force you to, but that's like fucked up. That's major fucked up. How did we not know that this was happening? That's like modern day slavery still. Y'all are still, and I hate to say it, but what is the population that makes up the majority of prison? African Americans.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have them pick cotton while the fucking guard's in the air with a gun. That's like y'all are still fucking doing it. Like, what did we learn? Nothing.
And they love that shit too. You know what I mean? Like the fucking.
Yeah. You know those guards are loving that shit. They fucking love it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, not only that, you know, prisons are for profit. Yeah, they're all privatized. It's not owned by the government. And you know how they get paid? They get paid by attendance, like a school. So the more people that go to prison, the more Jack, I need you to go, buddy. I need you. You're being loud. All right. But no, yeah, prisons are privatized. They're paid by how many people are there by the government. The government gives them money, and yeah, they're paid by how many people are there, and they're reimbursed for feeding them and everything. And then, you know, like they write a bunch of shit off on their taxes and stuff like that. And then what's crazy to me is like this is why marijuana was illegal for so long, and still kind of is. And there's no incentive because you think about it, if somebody owns a prison, you know what I mean, he probably has a good chunk of money, you know what I mean, because that's a lot of land. He has staff, you know what I mean. This dude's probably a billionaire, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And guess who controls the the narrative and the lobbyists and whatnot? They're the fucking rich billionaires. Okay, so that's why there's so many fucked up ass laws in this country, because people who own prisons, pay for certain laws to be made. And then, we get pulled over for speeding or whatever it is, and slowly they get you in this fucking system, and then you can't pay this and you can't pay that, and then next one thing after another, you're in prison. You know what I mean?
Right. So, and speaking of prison, did you hear Nicki Minaj got arrested?
Yeah, you said that last week.
In Amsterdam. Well, it happened right after I saw it, right after we got off our podcast a week ago, so I couldn't really bring it up.
Is that what it was? It was after the podcast. Gotcha.
I gotta see what she was arrested for because I didn't check, but there was like a video. She like took a video, and the cops were like legit arresting her. Like, what did you do in Amsterdam of all places to get arrested? Let me see. I'm not a huge Nicki Minaj fan, but I do find it interesting when famous people get arrested because it's kind of like a lot of countries like it when famous people come over. So they wouldn't try to like fuck shit up, you would think.
They don't give a fuck. What'd you do?
I'm trying to see.
You're the worst Googler ever.
Well, my keyboard's kind of sideways because I got my camera set up. And it's the Google's really trying not to tell me why she's arrested too. They're low-key trying not to talk about it.
Bro, you can't find shit on Google no more. Wikipedia don't even come up for like this till the second page most of the time nowadays.
Okay, Nicki Minaj arrested at Amsterdam airport following drug arrest.
In Amsterdam?
Yep.
How the fuck you get? How you get arrested in Amsterdam for drugs?
With marijuana joints in her bag. She's trying to leave Amsterdam with the drugs. I guess it's a no-no.
There's sometimes when I'm like, the world government's bad, and then I'm like, oh yeah, people are still getting arrested in other countries for weed. Like, we need to just go and like take over.
And
My
then
whole
you know
world.
what's funny? Because the thing on the line says she was arrested for marijuana joints. What other joints do you smoke? Because when someone says a joint, I assume it's marijuana. Why did you have
Bro,
to preface
that's
it?
nothing. Okay, so the guy, the governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, has been ever since marijuana was legalized in the state of Ohio back in October. Um, he's been like rushing his ass off to get like licenses for dispensaries so they can sell recreational marijuana or whatever. Because like he's
Mhm.
freaking out. He's like, I don't want anybody to buy weed off the streets and it have what's the big thing in drugs right now? Fentanyl. Yeah, I don't want anybody to buy weed with with fentanyl in it off the black market. I'm just like, will
To
you
be
stop?
fair,
Where do you get your weed? You don't buy weed from the black market, first off. You buy it from fucking Ted 3 doors down. He's
to be
growing it
fair,
in his back he's growing it in his back room. And he's not
to,
putting fentanyl in it. He's like he's putting fentanyl in their shit. That's the federal government. Okay.
that's why you
The
gotta smoke.
CIA has infiltrated the cartel since the 80s, and that's where they're getting the fentanyl, because fentanyl is a fucking big pharma manufactured drug. Okay, why all of a sudden is it in cocaine and heroin and everything? Because the CIA has found a way to win the drug war. Stop worrying about weed having fentanyl, Mike DeWine. I'm fucking tired of this guy running this country. He
To
was
be
trying to get
fair,
rid of abortion. Now he fought weed every which way. I can't. I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of. But he was pro, like, everybody gets to have a gun and walk around. Now, mind you, I'm cool with that too, but I can see why that's dumb to let everybody have a concealed weapon. We don't have to have a concealed handgun license anymore in this state. You can just have a gun, open carry too. You can just have anybody can have a gun strapped to their hip with their shirt over it. That's the law in Ohio. It's crazy. I'm pro that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a bit of a loose cannon, okay? Like, I'm probably not the guy that you should ask what's your opinion on gun laws? Oh, everybody should be allowed to. Okay, I think that, but that I don't make the laws for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But I mean, to be fair, I will say there were like 2 kids in my high school that got that overdosed on like fentanyl weed pens. And both of them were in my math class. It's pretty weird.
what the fuck?
It was
I
very
never even
weird. Not
heard of
even the
it.
same day. It was like months later.
Yeah, but
Like,
I've been saying for a long time that I don't like weed pens. I don't think that's real weed. Like, that's once you start breaking the shit down and melting it and doing all this other shit to it, I'm like, that's drugs. That's not weed anymore. Yeah,
I'm like,
I know. I've been telling you. It's fucking that's weed meth. This marijuana meth is what that is.
it is like super strong.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's the first time I ever seen somebody do dabs. He sat in a corner for like 4 hours. I was like, that dude's not okay. I'm never doing that. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my god.
yeah. Every time he called, you good? He just look up. No, he's not good. But
Mm,
so you'll
bro,
never catch me smoke like a pen. People hand me pens all the time. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
no, I get it. I get it. I used to not like them that much either. I like them now just because I can use them like while I'm at work and like no one's really gonna smell anything. That's kind of also why I switched to the vapes too. Like it's quicker to just like get a couple hits out the back door instead of having to like light a cigarette every time I need nicotine. So it's a lot more convenient. But I think the conveniency is what makes them like worse for you, is because you're gonna do them all the time. You're gonna do them in your house because it just evaporates.
Oh yeah, every vape I've ever had, I puffed like 100 times in like a minute.
Oh,
Like,
it's so good. But I don't puff it too much because like I have gotten like nauseous from nicotine before and it's like kind of gross.
I'm mostly just a cigar smoker at this point, you know.
Yeah,
You heard the new Eminem song came out this morning?
I don't listen to Eminem.
What?
Don't like him.
You don't like Eminem?
He's got a few good songs. Like there's a few songs I'm
Who
like, oh
doesn't
yeah,
like
this shit goes
Eminem?
hard. But like him as like a artist, not really. He's not my vibe.
That's so crazy.
But you know who I
Well,
also can't fucking stand? Fucking NSYNC and the fucking Backstreet Boys. Both of them can
okay,
fucking burn up, bro. Like every time I hear it, I'm like,
you are too
oh,
upset
God.
by artists who were popular in 2002.
Dude, I don't know why, but that shit just like, ooh. Bro, I could hear the first fucking chord of a Backstreet Boys, and I'm like, turn it off
Tell me why.
now. I don't know. It's irritating. And then it's like
Tell me why.
because I don't know why.
Ain't nothing but a heartbreak.
Stop, dude. That song will fucking get in your head, and it's just all. And everyone sings it. Like you say one line, and everyone just busts.
Yeah, because it's good.
But you know what I do like? I do like Justin Timberlake by himself. Not in bands. The band thing was, but him solo, he's real good.
Okay, so tell me, what do you think about the whole Britney Spears Justin Timberlake beef that happened like earlier this year?
Who cares? They're old.
That's kind of how I thought about it too. But there are a lot of people who are
they're
like,
washed up. Like,
but did you hear what? But do you know what was happening though?
supposedly, I heard a few things about how like she had an abortion and like he just wasn't very supportive and like he may have cheated
Okay, so
on
the story is so the story, Britney story is Justin Timberlake mostly just stayed out of it. Okay, but so Britney Spears released a book, memoir or whatever, tell-all book or whatever, and in it, it said that Britney Spears got pregnant by Justin Timberlake, and Justin Timberlake said, "I'm too young to have a baby," because they were like about your age at the time.
Mhm.
And so Justin Timberlake said, "I'm too young to have a child. I would prefer if you had an abortion," and she did.
I don't think that makes him a bad guy.
And then yeah, so everybody like came back at Justin Timberlake, fucking filled up his pages and stuff, calling him a fucking piece of shit, blah blah blah. Said, "You forced her to have an abortion." And it's just like, first off, he didn't force anybody to have an abortion. He said he stated his opinion and his wishes, and then that makes him a piece of shit. And then not only that, but like, like she had the abortion. Like,
Right, like God
you know
forbid,
what I
like
mean?
she
Like,
must have agreed with him because she had it.
right.
But also, like, God forbid that I hate to say this because it's gonna sound real weird coming out of my mouth. But like, God forbid a man have the same option as a woman for once.
It's not even really the same option because, like, I get why. Like, I don't get it, but like, I get it. It's like one of those situations. It's like when a guy says, like, you should have an abortion. I think women are always taken aback by that because I said the same thing about my kiddo, um, at the time. You know what I mean? But like, I I think what pisses me off the most is it that because there's no other option for a man when he says, "I think you should have an abortion." What he really means is, dude, I really don't want to be there for that kid. And then it's always the same bitches that end up having that kid, and then are pissed off that their baby daddy ain't shit. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
like I think that men should have the option. The option should be, well, I don't want to have his kids, so you do whatever you want with it, and I'm not paying child support. Like that should be a thing. That should be like a written thing, from the get go that you can't fucking go after somebody for child support if they did not have any like stay in the beginning. As soon as like if he shows up for the birth, okay, boom, you can start hitting him with child support. But if he's not there from the word go, like you know what I mean? Like
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't fault Justin Timberlake at all because it probably wasn't even I think you should have an abortion. It was probably just like I feel like you should. I feel like you should. Like, it's your decision, but like, if you want my opinion, I don't want to have a kid, so I feel like you should. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's probably what he said, because you're not going to go to your girl and say you have to have an abortion. That's not what he said.
Who
He
says that?
probably
You know what I
said
mean?
he probably said like I would like appreciate it, I would like it, but at the end of the day, it's your decision, and she decided to agree with him. Like,
And
stop trying to
furthermore, like,
villainize people.
why is everybody always mad at the man for not wanting to have a baby with a whore? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like, I mean, look at the way she dressed back then. You know, like, look at the way she still is.
I mean,
She's
she's pretty
fucking
hot.
batshit crazy. Why would like? Why are everybody mad at him? She's the crazy one. She had our parents had to fucking take like be in charge of her legally for a long ass time. Of course, he was trying to get into that situation. You know what I mean? Like,
And also, like, I think it's fucked up that people take other people's personal lives so, I don't know, they take it so seriously. It's like, what did it matter to you if you wanted his girlfriend to have an abortion? Like, they don't know you, you don't know them, not really. So, like,
right.
why are you gonna like go give hate to somebody who's like, first of all, super rich, doesn't give a fuck, and also you're 20 years late to the party. They beefed this out and gotten
Yeah,
over
that
it.
was a long ass time ago for something you're mad about now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's
Like,
such a piece of shit. What? How? There's something that happened in his 20s. He's in his 40s now. Like, you can call us. How dare you hold somebody accountable for something that happened 20 years ago that you're just now finding out about now? You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing too. That's when we get back to the felonies and shit. When we were just talking about, where like I can't understand why a felon isn't allowed to vote, and it's hard for them to get a job and shit the whole rest of their life over something that they probably did when they were a fucking kid, you know, for the lack of a better word. You know what I mean? Like, that's so dumb. You did your time. You know what I mean? So like, uh, I'm freshly 30. I just turned 30 a month ago. But I just kidding. I would hate for somebody to hold me to something I did 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. You know, you're not the same person you are every 10 years. You know, I don't care who you are, you know what I mean? Especially because you gather more knowledge and stuff, you know, you try I imagine you become, like, more chill and more understanding of people. Because when you're in your 20s, you're on a lot of fuck shit, and you're also on in your as a man, I don't know about women, but you're trying to be bold for a lot of reasons, you know what I mean? To garner recognition from your job and from women, and like you're doing a lot of things that you're being led by probably the wrong crowd. Like it's not until you hit your late 20s where you're like, I probably shouldn't have done that. So how dare you say that he's a piece of shit for something he did in his 20s? Let alone, it wasn't even something that crazy. Lots of dudes tell their fucking girlfriends that they should have
right.
an
And
abortion.
I bet you there's a lot more abortions in Hollywood than you fucking think that there are. Like,
Right.
if you want to be mad, like, you got to be mad at them all, honestly.
The fucking Malibu fucking Planned Parenthood probably sees a lot of business, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, get over this shit, man. And then that's not me like trying to advocate for being a piece of shit. I feel as though you should treat people how you want to be treated all of the time, regardless of the consequence. Because also, and I might get a lot of hate for this, but I don't think you using heaven and hell as like a reason to do good things is the right message. Because you're saying,
Yeah,
oh,
because
well,
like
I want to go.
if you're only doing like you only doing good for 2 and 4 people because you want divine like
Eternal
uh
life or some
yeah,
shit.
eternal life and divine reward, then you're not really a good person, are you? That's selfish.
Exactly. If you're saying I want to go to heaven, so I'm going to be like this, or I don't want to go to hell, so I'm going to do this, then are you really a good person?
Yeah, if you're
Okay.
also it works the other way too, because if you're afraid of eternal damnation, you're still not a good person. So no matter
That's
which
what
way
I'm
you look at it.
saying. like the fear behind your choices is not what is supposed to drive you. It's supposed to be, and I don't know the exact word for it, but maybe like empathy. Like I wouldn't do that to somebody because I just wouldn't fucking. First of all, I just wouldn't fucking do some shit like that. But I also wouldn't want some shit like that done to me. So I don't feel like that's hard to like understand. Like don't do something to someone that you don't want them to do to you. But also, it's like I just wouldn't do that because I just wouldn't fucking do that because it's wrong. Like I just
And
don't do shit that's
to
wrong.
judge people. The big thing too is judging people that have nothing to do with you. I can understand if you judge somebody who their actions directly affected you or somebody you know, but like if it doesn't affect you, why do you give a fuck? You know?
People give a lot of fucks about shit that has nothing to do with them. People love to be up in other people's business. I will never understand why, because to be honest with you, I don't really like to be in a whole lot of people's business, and I don't really like a whole lot of people in mine. So, like, people make it like, I don't know, they're just life's mission to just like stir the pot and just be in the middle of shit. I don't know, man. It's not hard to be a good person. I don't feel like it is. It's not hard at all. It's actually like pretty easy.
I think people like overthink it too. Like what makes a good person? I feel like a good person it takes minimal effort. You know what I mean? Just
It's not hard.
do your best. And sometimes doing your best doesn't mean like um give 100% every day because some days you don't have 100%. You have 40%. So if you only have 40%, and you give 40%, you're still giving 100%. You know what I mean? Like you go out of your way to do the best you can every day that you can, and I don't know, you try not to hurt people. Like it's minimal effort. It really is. 'Cause I think a lot of people have this like weird, like over dramatized version of what makes a good person. You know, oh, he gives away to charity. Well, I can't give away to charity. You know what I mean? Like I can't help the homeless guy who comes up to me. You know what I mean? Like I can't always be there for people. You know what I mean? But I don't have to like stab people. You know what I mean? Like
Bro, I called a homeless person a bitch the other day.
well, they probably deserved it. That doesn't make you a
He
bad person,
did.
in my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, go ahead and tell the story, but I fucking
I
hate
mean,
homeless people most of the
so
time, if I'm honest.
we went to the gas station at around like 10 or 11 o'clock, and there's this dude like leaning up, like not even like sitting, he's like laying against the building. And apparently, their loitering laws say that as long as they're not inside the store, they're allowed to hang out right outside the door. That's really weird and suspicious, but whatever. So as we're walking in, we realize we don't have any money. And like if he were to ask us for something, I couldn't give you any. So when we're going in, he asked us if he could have our change. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. We only have a card. And then we just hurried in real quick. And I guess maybe he said something to my boyfriend, context. Maybe he said something to my boyfriend as I was walking in about, oh, well, can you buy me a drink? And I don't think my boyfriend answered him. I think it was just something he said while we were walking in. And when we were leaving, he said something about, "Oh, you're wrong for that." No, and I was confused because I'm like, "Oh, he's not talking to me." I looked around, I was like, "He's not talking to me." And then I looked at him, and I said, "Bitch," and I just got in the car. And I didn't say it like a bitch. I have something to say. I just said it like bitch, like you're a bitch. Like don't even. And I got in the car and we left. But I really was like, I really wanted to tell him, like, bitch, first of all, why don't you go get a fucking job? Okay, like you're gonna lay, you're not even gonna sit and beg for money, but you're gonna lay and beg for money, dude. Go get a fucking job. Like I didn't say it, but I wanted to. All I called him was a bitch, and then we left. But like, what the fuck? I'm wrong for that? You're laying outside a gas
Well,
station
yeah,
begging
like
for
your
money. I'm wrong.
presentation is everything. Like you're laying down, like like I don't know what the story is there, but like you're laying down, begging. Like, how lazy do you think you look? Like, this whole you're not helping the the Republicans or the conservatives when they say, oh, homeless people are usually lazy. You laying down and begging for change and then talking shit to the people who can't afford to give you change. You're making their point. You're making their fucking point.
Yeah, and like I was pretty confused at first because I was like, who the fuck are you talking? Like, you're not talking to me. I fucking work for it. Like, this is
Lay
my
it
money. I don't have to give
down.
you shit. The fuck. I didn't say all that because I'm not trying to get like stabbed, like, you know what I'm saying. But I just
I
class.
would have said, "No, motherfucker," because I stood up all day making my money. Go fuck yourself.
And my boyfriend didn't hear him because he said it like as we were leaving, and like we just kept walking. Like I didn't even break stride. I just kind of looked around for a second, and I called him a bitch. I'm like, "What? Okay, bitch." Like,
I done
but
taken some garbage out of my car and thrown it at him.
no,
It's just
because I'm
laying,
really not trying to
not
get
hard,
killed.
but just like enough for it to like land right on it.
No, because I'm also not the type of bitch where like I want to start a fight that I can't finish. So I shouldn't start a fight with no man because then my man is gonna have to fight it, and that's like a fucked up position to put him in. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? Like,
you should have asked, "Can I throw trash at him?"
no, it should be more like, hey, if
You
I
don't
throw
have to
trash
fight the
at this,
fight. Like,
no, it has to be if I throw trash at this guy and then he tries to fight me, can you fight him back?
yeah,
Like, is
that's
that
what I'm
okay?
saying.
Like, or is that, or you don't feel like
Can I throw
fighting?
trash at this guy? Because I know you're gonna have to fight him.
Right? You know
I'll
what
help.
I'm saying?
We can jump him together. Like,
Dude, if I was a man, bro, if I was a man, I would have been in so many fights by now. I would have
yeah.
just like punched so many people. Like y'all must just have some fucking strength. Like I wish I had some fucking strength. I
Okay, so
fuck
can we
shit
pivot
up.
to this real quick? I love it. It's my favorite thing when women are like, men are disrespectful to us because we're women. And I'm like, no, men are disrespectful to everyone because they're men. All men think they're better than everyone else. It's not just y'all. Okay. I can't tell you how many times I've had to put people in their places. They only get away with it with you because you're a woman and you can't do anything. But they do it to everyone. Like, so I hope you know that.
I get that. No, I get that. Yeah. What were we talking about?
Homeless people and misogyny and
Oh, yeah. If I was a man, dude, I'd been in so many fucking fights. Y'all got some
you
serious
have
fucking.
to. You have to, because believe it or not, that's why I hate that there's so many laws against it, because it's like also just how you establish yourself as a man. You know what I mean? Like if sometimes you have to gain respect for your circle. Sometimes that means whooping somebody's ass in front of everybody. You know?
But you know what I do need to work on because I'm not gonna lie, I got some pretty strong legs. Because I kind of want to be strong. I kind of want to like fuck someone up if they tried me. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't. They
Why
didn't
don't you
do
take up
it.
like an MMA of some sort? That's a big thing now.
I should take up something, or you know, maybe even like a self defense class. Like I mean, I learned like
Don't take a
basic
self-defense
self
class. They
defense.
don't teach you anything of value.
Why do you
That's
say
a
that?
they're a scam, dude.
Really?
Yeah, they're a scam. They don't really teach you anything that you're gonna like. If you want to learn real self-defense, learn an MMA. Because if you legit know how to fight, you'll get yourself out of most fucking defense classes. Teach you how to be in a position that you're already fucked in. You know what I mean? Like you're already in a bad position. It's too late by then. You know, most of them are like, oh, you know, if they have you around like this, knee them in the ball, dude. If you knee me in the balls, like I can't. I have a child, okay, and I'm the oldest of 6 kids. Like? You think getting kneed in the balls hurts? Like it hurts, but it does. It's not gonna. It's not gonna like stop me from what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like step on his
To be
foot. Okay,
to be honest with
most
you,
grown
dude,
men have steel toe boots. Yeah,
I'm gonna be,
like
I'm gonna be honest with
headbutt
you.
him.
Not that I think it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna say now, like if I ever get attacked, I'm not gonna try to like stun the guy. I'm gonna try to like incapacitate him. Cause like that's the only way I gotta like
Carry a
knock you the
gun.
fuck out. I gotta like hit you with a rock and then call you an ambulance to be sure. Cause
I
like
don't.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to fight you. Like for
You need a
real.
gun, bro. You need a gun, okay? Because like you don't go anywhere where guns are illegal, okay? So like you don't go to like Chicago, you don't go to LA, you know. You go from where you are to Texas sometimes, and then sometimes you visit me in Ohio. I guess all those are gun states. Just get a gun. Just get a gun. All women should carry a gun, in my opinion.
Dude,
It's an equalizer.
do you know how clumsy I am? Dude, I would shoot myself by accident.
Safety.
Dude, I would like shoot my fucking toe off or some shit. I'd be like looking for some lipstick and it's just like pow, and I'm like, oh god.
Honestly, you don't even need to have it loaded most of the time. I don't recommend not having it loaded, but like most of the time you whip out a gun, people are like, whoa, fuck, like criminals even, just people are trying to, they don't want to fuck with you anymore. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta, like it's a, what is it called? It's a game changer. It's a showstopper.
Bro, man, I don't know, dude. I don't know, because I'd always be worried about like, is this the situation to pull a gun out? And I would overthink it. And then the situation to pull a gun out, I wouldn't pull it because I'd be like, nah, I don't think it's that serious. Like,
I
what
mean,
if
that's
I
the
pull
other
a gun
thing.
and they pull a
Brandishing is
gun?
against the law. You know what brandishing is? That's a weird law
Where you
too.
like flash it off, like you say, like I'll fucking
That's a
shoot you.
crime.
Yeah, it's a threat technically. You can't pull a gun unless you're like really trying to like have some self defense. I kind of get it. I kind
There's
of
no
get it.
situations where I feel like I need to show my gun.
What if we're just like driving down the road and like you just piss someone off and they're like, I'll fucking shoot you, dude. Like, calm down. Take a Xanax. Okay, like we don't do that. No. We got kids.
I guess it's fair, but
you don't know fuck, bro. Like I'll call the police so fucking quick on you. Like, no, I'm kidding. But I don't know, dude. Like, if I
pull yours out and tap it on the window. Come on, bitch.
If I own a gun, I'm gonna have to be real confident in that son of a bitch, because.
I'm saying, I know your boyfriend's got guns, so like,
Bro, if you pull a gun in the fucking hood, they'll just pull out more. Like, what do you mean? Like, they'll be like, "Oh, are we showing off?" Like,
have yours out. If you already have yours out, like, they gotta go. You know, like, get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Oh my god. This is crazy. I've been in a few shootouts. Not like been in it, but I've been like near them. The bullets were flying. Like any of them could have hit me. Okay.
Somebody pointed a gun at me, and I took it away from
them. Fucked up. That's fucked up, dude. Bro, if someone pointed a gun at me, you did, but like I would. First of all, I would cry. And then when they put the gun down, I would kill them. Because who are you to threaten my fucking life?
That's the fucking crazy part about it is, like, I had this distorted view on it. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that, like, he was, like a punk bitch. And then come to find out I was lied about him. You know, like about who he was as a person. I found out the truth. And then I, fucking basically 10 years after the fact, I realized, oh, he meant that shit. You know what I mean? I found out that my life was in danger 10 years later. You know what I mean? I took the gun away from him, and he pointed the gun at me and he meant it, okay? And then in my distorted view, I took the gun away from him, and then imagine how he meant that he was pointing the gun at me. He was like, "Get out of here!" And I took the gun away from him. Imagine how he was. He was like, "This person's crazy," and all it was just a woman, playing both sides. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fucking insane. I forgot the part where you took the gun from him. That's like a fucked up.
I took the gun. No, it's crazy because I took the gun away from him. He was pointing at me, and I took the gun away from him. I emptied the clip, and then I handed it back to him, and then I turned my back towards him, got in my truck, and left.
What if there was one in the chamber?
Does that matter? Does that matter? Imagine, okay, even if you have one in the chamber, you're pointing a gun at me, and you have one, I take it away from you, dump the clip on the ground, and then hand it back to you. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be like, this motherfucker.
That man was so smart. You know why? Because he was like, you know what? If he wants her this bad, he can have her. Because couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Fucking have her. And he was like, clearly this dude's not kidding. So maybe I should just.
Yeah,
clearly I underestimated how much you liked this woman. More than me, perhaps. And I'm her husband. Like, let that hoe go. I don't give a fuck, man. Like, I'm not gonna die over this shit. You imagine him being like, that was a crazy motherfucker right there.
So that's what's funny is
Probably the
He
only thing.
thought I was crazy, and I thought he was a bitch. And come to find out, is we were both being lied to, and he was just upset, and I was mad. I was the crazy one, you know. What I mean? Or no, I wasn't crazy, but like I was. We were both fucking pissed off at each other by what we were told. This is what I also learned is just to not trust people's word. You know,
Right.
I have to get all the information. Um, I don't
Yeah.
believe what people tell me necessarily anymore, especially new people. So
No, I get that. I get that like 100% for sure. Because like people just be bullshitting half the time. They're either like liars or they're like embellishing and don't realize it. A lot of people
yeah, that's the
embellish
other
and
thing.
don't
Not
realize it.
everybody's a liar, but I feel like people don't always give you all the information because maybe they don't know all the information or they've spun it in their own head away. You
Or
know what
that
I
was
mean?
your perception of what happened. Like,
Right.
like that was just how you saw it. It's not always black and white, honestly. That was some crazy shit.
You believe this Thomas guy was like, "Are you gonna do it, bitch?
I
You
don't know
come
what
on
the
my
fuck he
show
was
and try to
on.
fucking."
Also, he was like, "Oh, I want to do an edit." Like, first of all, are you gonna give me credit on that? Otherwise, no, I'm not gonna fucking.
Right? Yeah. No, I didn't do shit, bro.
Like, what do you? No, you're gonna take my fucking voice and like jack off to it. Like, I know what the fuck this is. I'm not stupid. Like, the fuck.
That's so funny that that's the worst thing women can think of.
It's not the worst, but it's definitely the first thing you're gonna do with it. That's for sure. It's
I
already
love
just
that.
like,
I love how like with a man, I'm like, oh, I need monetary gain. You know what I mean? You're gonna make money off of me. But women are like, you're gonna jerk off. Like
dude,
men
I
and
was
women will never be the same.
Dude, did I ever tell you that there was a man who called the store, the diner that I work in, one morning, and he called and he said, "Hey, I think I left my son's stuffed beaver up there." Right? And I
What?
didn't know what the fuck he was talking about because in my day and age, we didn't call a pussy a beaver. We call it a fucking pussy. Okay, so when he
Right.
said, so guess what I did, my dumbass? I started looking for whatever fucking stuffed animal his fucking kid left up there. And then finally I start hearing, so I hung up the phone. Dude started heavy breathing into the. I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And then someone told me, "Was like, you don't know what a beaver is?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "It's what you call a pussy." I'm like, "In what year did they call it? Like the 80s? Like who the fuck?" But
Well,
that was
that was
disgusting.
before shaving.
That was disgusting. A
So
beaver,
that's it legitimately
a stuffed
um
beaver.
yeah, it kind of looked like a beaver, so
Like,
back
dude,
then.
are you fucking kidding me? I wish I knew who that was. I would beat his ass. Do you know how many times my coworkers would be like, dude, just the other day I was getting into my car to go home. They're like, "Hey, Liberty, where's that stuffed beaver?" Like, bro, I would beat that dude's ass if I ever fucking saw him or knew what the fuck he looked like, dude. I'm never gonna live this shit down.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Men are disgusting. You don't hear women calling up diners talking about fucking stuff, fucking bananas and shit. No, you hear men doing that shit. It's gross. Don't involve me in
But
this weird
I
shit.
mean, there's always some woman who's like
That was phone assault.
gold digging. You know what I mean?
That
Like
was
so.
phone assault for sure. He was heavy breathing. You're like,
Okay,
dude,
but
that,
okay. Well, I'll give you the equal. You say that's phone assault. I agree
it
with you. It's
is. I
not
didn't
right.
contest that.
But I'm saying there's an equal exchange. Okay, men are always pissed off about their money getting stolen or getting ripped off or whatever, and women are always afraid of being sexually harassed. Okay, all right. I'll give you an equal exchange to that. Okay, the male to female version of that is there's this big thing on Tinder now where like women will go on Tinder and then try to get you to be on their OnlyFans or whatever. It's like, bro, I'm trying to like meet somebody. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to fucking like that's not why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck off Tinder, bro.
I
Like,
mean, everything has ads these days, so I mean, it comes with the territory.
you're
Call it an
fucking
ad.
you're just making men not want to get on Tinder. You know what I mean? That's all it is. You're just ruining an app designed for dating and I guess fucking too to advertise something that we're not going to pay for anyway.
You
You
know
know what I
you
mean?
want to
Like,
know something? want to know something very serious? I want to tell you, way back in the day, women were very insecure. Women were more insecure than they are now. They were like insecure to the point where they needed male validation so
I know,
much
I
that
miss
they
those
would like
days. Let's go back to that.
pit women. That's what I'm saying. Like women would like pit women against each other, and they were all like super skinny and like wouldn't eat and like hated each other. Like fuck that bitch, she's a slut. You know what I'm saying? Women
Now they're
wanted
all
to be
fat and they think they're beautiful.
back in the day. Women kind of wanted to be liked by men, and now that like we kind of realize that men don't like women, and women don't like men.
Yeah.
That's just facts. And the only reason we put up with each other is due to our fucking nature. And that's all.
Yeah.
Because have you ever, to be honest with me, have you ever met a dude and a woman that were just friends? Never. I've never met a man and a woman.
I hate that fucking like
we don't like each other.
Yeah, and there's always like women are all convinced that men can be your friend. That's just because y'all don't understand men. But like, there's dudes are like, I'm just friends with her. You know, you're not. No, you're fucking not. And just admit it. Stop being a fucking skeevy little liar, bro. Just be honest. Obviously, tell her what you think. Tell her that you want to fuck her or you want to be with her, and there's a good chance she'll probably say no because she's fucking used you as an emotional fucking support man, but an emotional support husband or boyfriend or whatever this entire time. So she's probably gonna say no because you devalued yourself as a man. But at least you'll know where she's saying. Maybe she'll say yes. There's a chance she'll say yes, but
what
she
I
probably
think it
won't.
is,
But why are you gonna do that to yourself?
what I think it is, and I think the reason why like maybe romance movies and romance novels do so well in just in general, I think it's because women like the idea of men, kind of like how men like the idea of women. But once you like get the person, kind of like crushes, you always have a crush, right? And then you start dating them and you're kind of like, you get the ick, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is. You've just made this false fucking reality in your head of what you think a woman is or what you think a man is. And then come to find out that person just doesn't exist. So, like, get over it. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. And that's not to say that I'm completely right. I'm sure there are men and women out there who get along, but I'm sure it's scarce. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't see big groups of women and men or big groups of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you normally see just like groups of women who are friends or groups of men who are friends. Like, you don't see if there's a bunch of women and men, it's like a double date scenario.
Yeah, I wish the housing wasn't so fucking expensive because I feel like long-term relationships wouldn't have to like, you know, uh like converge houses. Like why is that? I've never understood that. Like as I've gotten older at least.
But the thing
Why
is,
do I have to why do I have to live in the same house as a woman just cuz we're together? Like
to be honest with you, I think we could figure out a lot of why we don't like each other if we admitted it. I don't think like in a science way.
I've been doing that for a couple years now. I'd be like, I don't really like women that much, and people are like, "You're an incel." I'm like, no, I don't think that's it.
Well, maybe we
I'm
can
not an
figure out
incel.
why.
I just don't enjoy them as people. Like they're not what I want. You know what I mean? I like sports. I like cigars. I like talking shit. I like saying stuff I don't mean in the meanest way possible. Women don't fuck with that at all. You know what I mean? I like cars. You know, like I like crypto. So that's it. Like, yeah, and you're sitting there like, I don't like none of that. Yeah, why can't we just, why can't we just agree that men and women are here to procreate and we shouldn't be friends? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why a lot of people don't believe in monogamy.
I kind of do. I like the idea of. I don't think long term monogamy is possible in this day and age, but I like the idea of being with one person at a time.
Oh, well, at a time. Monogamous at one time. But as far as like monogamy as a whole, where they expect you to like settle down eventually, like, just have one person for the rest of your life, I don't think that's for everybody. I don't think everybody wants to be in a relationship. I think people just want to have carefree sex sometimes and just not make it a big deal. But because society has made it such a big deal, they feel the pressure to have a relationship,
Yeah,
and
that's an
then
old
they
thing.
just
Think about
evoke.
how old marriage is, though.
Mhm.
That's an old thing.
Yeah.
And that was back when people were living to like 55 max. You know what I mean? Like, we're living almost twice that now. You know what I mean? And that was a long time ago when, people would die, like women would die in childbirth or men would die in war. And neither one of
Why
us
do
do
you
that
think?
anymore.
Why do you think swingers are so common? I think it's because
What?
people get. I
What the?
think it's because
They're not
people
common. Get the fuck out of here.
swingers are a lot more common than you think they are. We went to a fucking mall the other day, and one of those fucking pineapples that they had as like decoration and Dillard's, there's like a woven pineapple. It was upside down, and we were by the time we saw it, and I'm like, that's pretty funny. And it probably could have been a joke or whatever, but I hear swinging is like pretty common, and I think it's because
I've,
a lot
I've
of
met
people.
2 swinger couples my entire life, and they were both older.
But I think it is more common with older people because I think they kind of get. And the thing is, I think the love is still good, but I do think they get burnt out, and I think they just want to like have sex with other people sometimes. And who knows? Maybe that's the way that the brains are programmed.
You know what the problem is, and I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. I know what it is. Okay, and I had this same problem when I was with my ex. Okay, the mother of my child. Okay, and I used to tell her, and she gets so pissed at me. Okay, every time I open my mouth, this woman got mad at me. But that's neither here nor there. It's the texting, man. Like, why you gotta be up my ass all day? Fucking marriages lasted the longest when you didn't hear, and I think Chris Rock kind of said something to this effect, but you didn't hear from your wife or your husband all day while you guys were at work. Like while everybody was at work or whatever, and kids were at school and stuff. And you come home and then you talk about your day. You know what I mean? Now I gotta hear about your day all day. And then I get home and you're like, you never want to talk to me. Yeah, because I fucking talk to you. I know everything. I fucking know
Well,
everything.
well,
What the fuck is there to talk about?
the whole basis of marriage is a scam anyway because people think the basis of marriage is like love and commitment when no, it's not. It's a bargain, and that's what it started out as. They kind of like a lot of like husbands and wife kind of just like put up
I
with each
think
other.
I think that's how marriage started, was the bargaining chip,
Yeah,
that
it was
women were
bargain.
property. But as women started to be less known as property, it became they pivoted to it being sanctimonious in love, you know what I mean, to appeal towards women, and I
I
think
think,
we're
yeah, I was
past
gonna
both
say,
of those.
y'all are some fucked up sons of bitches because somehow you convinced us that having a wedding would be the most important day of her life. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, it is. I have never once
Well,
sat
I don't
down
know why you
and
say
dreamed
y'all.
of a wedding dress or of a wedding. Like I've never like, oh my god, like I can't wait. I've never, not even as a child. I've never thought about like, oh, I wonder what my wedding would be. It's never been there because it's like I kind of don't base my life on what I think will happen. Because clearly, what I think will happen is not what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
kind of
more
just live
about
my life what's
honestly,
going on.
I think more about my funeral than I think about my wedding.
Right? Because you know you're gonna die. You don't know you're gonna get married. You don't know. How do I
I
know?
but but I'm
I
saying
don't
I
know.
dictate my life, and I create my goals, and I go after my goals and stuff in life more about how I want my funeral to be than I do my wedding. I don't give like, I don't even really think about my wedding, but the idea of who I want at my funeral and how my funeral to go and what I want people to say about me at my funeral dictates my life.
What do you want people to say?
Good things. I want people to have stories about me, you know what I mean? And funny things to say, and like, I want people to say that I was a good person, like, I want people to actually want to show up and give a fuck.
Yeah,
So that's how I
no, I
live my
get
whole
that.
life. I don't think
I
about
get
my
that.
fucking marriage, like,
Right. Who's thinking about that? Not
right.
me.
Maybe it'll
I think.
happen, but that's not important to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it. I think
Yeah, I think that
that
pretty
covers
much
it for
sums
the
it up.
week. We got kind of deep there at the end, or I did, I guess. Now you look like you're gonna go ponder later. Like, fuck, I'm too high for this.
I try not to think about shit till it happens. It's kind of how my life is right now.
You can't think, like, if you die, you die. It's not really something you can think about after it happens.
Yes, I can.
Okay, but no, I don't want to hear your shit because you're a woman, so people are gonna say nice things about you no matter what. They say nice things about you while you're alive, okay? Nobody says nice shit about men while they're alive. That's all we have to look forward to. Is people showing up to your funeral to give you flowers.
You
Men
want to
don't
know
get
something?
men don't get flowers after they're dead.
Well, you want to know something? Just on a last little note, death hasn't been scaring me as much recently. Once I figured out that, energy cannot be destroyed nor created, only transferred. I'm not gonna die.
I don't believe in science.
Science doesn't believe in you, so it's okay. Your dad probably thought he used a condom. Oops. Anyway, no, I'm not really
I wasn't using them at all, actually.
I'm kind of convinced I'm not gonna really die. I'm not gonna die. I'll exist. I'll exist somehow. I'm not sure how, but I'll exist.
This is the exact plot to Revenge of the Sith, by the way. So
yeah, I'll exist. I'll be there.
All right, guys, catch me out. Here in a few minutes, I'm going to be grilling some burgers with Jack on every other weekend meals. He said, "Oh, we're making tacos for Taco Tuesday on Hamburger Cheese this Tuesday. Come watch. Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Bye.
Bye.